until we're doing money, right? Giving.
Sure. We've got a group here that could use a couple of folks. Dale Mall. Hi.
Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Everything all set?
Probably. We're going to get started. Can everyone hear me okay? If you can hear me, raise 2 fingers. I'm just kidding. Which 2? There it is. Did you watch Ted Lasso? Yeah. That part. Okay. So, let me see your pretty smiling faces. Hi, Jen. How are you? I bet that's not all you are. I can't wait to find out. There it is. Excellent. So we're going to have folks that are going to pop in. So when you see someone new, try not to yell at them. Try not to take them for your own group and go, no, come here, come here. What kind of community would that be? Frightening. Frightening. It's good to see you all. We're going to start with announcements. So your leadership council chair, Debbie Ann, is going to do some announcements. Oh, here. Yes, take that, please. Take that away.
Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. Okay. We are going to talk about our announcements. First one is we are going to celebrate Halloween on November 3rd here in the center. So you are welcome to wear your best costume. If it's different from the one you show up in every Sunday, we would like to see that. But it is optional, so you don't have to. So yes, we're going to acknowledge Halloween on November 3rd. On November 10th, after service, that is the conclusion of our AIF study book series, the Book of Joy.
How many have joined AIF? How many of you are sitting in an AIF group?
Awesome.
And for those of you that aren't, we're sorry. But I'm hearing great stuff, and I'll be visiting your class, so.
Oh, that's right. Reverend Bobby's going to pop in and visit your classes unexpectedly. So.
Just gave the warning.
Yeah. So as the culmination of AIF, we're going to have a celebration and potluck on November 10th after Sunday service. So we look forward to that. The next leg of 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, we have postponed the next session just for that date, and they will resume, and we will let you know when that is.
Can I let them know that Gina, Gina, where are you?
Gina's right there.
Gina is going to have a new partner. Dodgers, go Dodgers, yes. So in case Gina's husband doesn't know, he's not in the room, right? Perfect. So when Gina's going to be doing Win for All, wearing her Dodgers t-shirt, but she's going to do it with her husband, Ian. It's exciting. He doesn't know yet. That's right.
So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And just real quick, we're going to do a tiny bit of housekeeping. If you parked behind someone, you can fill out a card with your name and cell phone numbers so we can reach you if they need to move prior to your leaving. Just place the card on your windshield, and we will contact you if someone is blocking you. And if you have a cell phone today, please silence it for our service time together. So thank you.
Do you smell something burning? Okay. Oh, I'm on. Yes.
Don't forget about fallback. Next week.
It's in the newsletter. For those of you that show up next week, you're either going to be early or late, and I don't know which one it is. So figure it out, but it's going to be in the newsletter. We fall back, so that means you'll be early if you show up on time. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? You don't want to do it? Then show up early, earlier. Later. Show up at 12. But don't change your clock. All right. Gosh, this is hard, right? So hard. Forget everything I said. Thank you. Easy, right, Ray? He forgets everything I say all the time. So, welcome. My name is, if you're new today, my name is Reverend Bobbi. I'm the spiritual director here at Pacific Coast Center for Spiritual Living, and once a month we do a little bit of a deep dive and provide some connection. So if you're new, you're going to get to know people and have no choice, right? And you're going to love it, or maybe we'll see you again, right? But today we're going to talk about compassion and the healing power of compassion, so what a perfect conversation to have today. We're very excited you could be with us today. So first of all, we're going to start with what we do in this community, which is the priority and the place in which we stand is always caring for one another, period. We decided to do what's called the CARE model just over a year ago. And you didn't hear what I said? Can you guys hear up here?
No, it was me.
You want me to repeat it? Just a little bit back? Okay, so we do the CARE model, which means care is first. How's that? We'll explain that. We're going to try it real quick. Hold on to your whatevers, right? Yeah, just hold on to them. So here's how it works. The CARE model allows us to do check-ins with each other and care for one another. The reason we do it this way, too, is because if the minister has to do it all, it is impossible. Pastoral care kind of ends after about 30 people, and we're beyond that. So, and it doesn't allow for much else, pastoral care or nothing. So it doesn't really allow for that. So we're really moving past where we care for one another. I'm just going to ask our practitioners in the room if you would please raise your hand. Licensed practitioners, thank you. I'm also going to ask anyone in the room who knows how to pray, please raise your hand. See? Now you got a whole bunch of people that can help you, right? And prayer for us is affirmative prayer. We do not pray to a deity. The prayer is we state the truth of who we are. That's what we do. It's a spiritual practice. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. The CARE covenant. So I'm going to ask us to read this together. Would you be willing to do that? This is what you're going to practice today, because it's always a practice. I don't have anything down perfectly at all, except zipping up the back of my boots. I can say I've got that down, right? All right. Ready? I agree to listen and be present and not try to fix or give advice. Hold on. Do you get that? That's a big one. I paused for that one because someone's going to say something in your group and you're going to want to fix it. Don't. There's nothing to fix. Okay? Let's go to the next one. I agree to bring my best love and attention to whatever or whomever is before me, including and especially myself. Pause. The only person that can give you the love you need is you. That's it. The next one. I agree to practice non-judgment. Hold on. For yourself, for others, and anybody up here. That's the deal. The next one. I agree to love and accept myself and others as they are. I'm an Enneagram 1. We love to judge. Okay? It's a practice. Don't judge. We don't look at others as being anything other than they are. The next one. I agree to stay in the present, the now moment of power. Pause. Sometimes you're going to be asked a question to go back. Don't buy real estate there. Okay? Move back forward, buy real estate in the moment. I feel like I've got a little feedback, Matt. The next one is, I use as my guide. Pause. You ready? Yeah. Ready? Yeah. If it is loving, if it grows, expands, or deepens love, it is the right thing to do. And if you forget this, go back to this. Just remember this. Little bit, a little too much, Matt, I think. A little bit too much. Oh, yeah, it's that play, right? Yeah, okay. So we're going to do this in your groups. So first, you're going to share. You're going to be asked to share with a person in your group, which is called a dyad. So when you hear me say dyad, that's two. So you're going to pick a partner. You're going to share a word of good. Please keep it under 30 seconds. And you go, well, of course, a word of good. But no, there's always a story with that word of good, right? Because we got to say why it's good. Just keep it under 30 seconds. Pick a partner real quick. Did you pick a partner? Great. Now, 30 seconds. Share a word of good. When you're done, just hold up 2 fingers. 2 fingers if you're done. This is what we do with the teens. Exactly. All right. Now, this one's a little tougher. Because there's always something going on, right? There's always something going on in life. I love that. Always something. So, do we have any heaviness of heart or hardness of head? You can imagine what that means, right? Either I'm stubborn or my heart's broken a little, right? I'm resisting to something. So if you have any of that, in the way, this is the key, in the way of being present today. There's that phrase, in the way of being present. Maybe it's, I just need to share it, but it's not in the way. That's good. So I'm going to do this. Each one of you will take 30 seconds with your partner, so a total of 1 minute. You're going to share any heaviness of heart or hardness of head in the way today. Are you ready? You got 1 minute, which is 30 seconds each. Here we go. Would you write down a very short phrase if they ask for one? I know. Okay. So we're going to walk over here to group 2. Is there any heaviness of heart or hardness of head that you would like prayer for? You okay? It could even be one word. If you're struggling. I want to make it easy. I don't want to make it embarrassing either. Go ahead. So a little imposter syndrome. Thank you for being vulnerable about that. Been there, right? How about over here?
I am there.
Relationship communication with my youngest son.
Gotcha. A little heartbrokenness there.
With your godson?
Her son. How about over here?
Better relationship with my husband.
Better relationship with her spouse. About back here? Anything? Yeah, feeling lonely. Is that okay? How about right here? Having compassion for someone you live with? Who is ill. Today ought to be interesting, right? Thank you. How about right here? Yes?
I'll be starting a new job in about a week and a half, so I'm very blessed and happy about it, but at the same time I have some anxiety just
Okay.
doing the unknown.
Okay. In the back.
There's some heaviness of heart about the upcoming election.
About what?
The upcoming election.
Upcoming election. No one feels that. Right? I actually don't feel that. I keep saying that. Feels good.
Heartache.
Heartache, yes. Okay. Here? Did I get you guys? Okay. Do you have them all?
I do. Okay. Am I praying?
Would you like to?
Sure.
Come right here.
Okay. See if I can read my notes. I don't know. So I didn't write everybody's names down, so what you need to
Don't need-
know
no,
is
don't
that
need
a
names.
prayer for one is a prayer for all, okay? Wait, are we on? We went off.
You're on.
Okay, all right, so We just arrived here this morning, just so grateful and thankful to be in this beautiful sanctuary, in this sacred circle, just recognizing the one mind, the one power, the one infinite intelligence in all, as all, through all. My life, the one life that is expressing in its fullness and allness as each person here today. And so we just speak a prayer, just blessing our precious soul that has said, hey, I'm in a new career and I've got imposter syndrome, and we just know that she shows up in her fullness and her allness, and that this new career is an expression of God expressing in, through, and as her life in its fullness and allness. And we just speak for Jen, just knowing that the relationship and communication with her son is blessed and a blessing, that she shows up with her open heart, and it is just God seeing God, God speaking to God, God knowing God. And so we just bless that holy mother-son relationship, just knowing that it is in its fullness. And we bless this precious soul that has said, I want a better relationship with my spouse. And so we just affirm love is expressing always in always as each and every one of us. And as this precious soul in her call for prayer for her relationship with her husband, we just know that it is blessed and a blessing, and that she shows up in her fullness and allness, and it is just love knowing itself more deeply in this relationship. For if God is all there is, and there is no place where God is not, God is expressing in this relationship and in all relationships in this room. And we just hold in our hearts anyone. Someone spoke the word lonely. We just hold that. We just hold in our hearts, just knowing that we are never, ever, ever alone. Even in those moments where our human mind feels lonely, we just know that we are always, always, always cared for, loved, supported, supplied, and that there is no space and place that we are alone. For if God is all there is, God is expressing in its fullness, in partnership, in co-creation with each and every one of us. So we just hold that space of love and compassion, and just knowing that loneliness expresses in its fullness as love, expressing in partnership, in divine right, friendship and relationship and companionship. And we just speak a word of prayer for somebody that spoke out. I need some compassion for someone that's ill. And so we just know that this workshop today, as we dance in the depths of holy holies with compassion, that this brings forth that divine grace of love and compassion that is always seeking to express itself. And we just bless our precious congregant that's starting a new job, and just knowing that anxiety is that energy of spirit seeking to express itself. That excitement, that it's just that excitement of something new is beginning. Yes, we celebrate that new beginning of this new job, the gratitude for this new opportunity that is saying yes and calling forth something new that is co-creating with this beautiful, precious congregant. And for Jesse and anybody in this circle that's feeling that heaviness of what's coming on this upcoming election, we just hold that God is expressing in its fullness and allness in our country, in our cities, in our state, and beyond. And so we just hold that space of peace, be still, and know that I am God. Peace, be still, and know that I am God. So we release into this prayer-filled any stuff, story, worry about that dualistic thinking, us or them, and we just hold the oneness and wholeness and divine right action that is happening. And we just hold our precious congregant who's experiencing heartache, just knowing that love is expressing in its fullness always, in all ways. And we just know that the heart couldn't break if it didn't feel, and we celebrate the feelings of our heart. We celebrate that opportunity as a human to love and be loved, and we express and give gratitude for the infinite intelligence of love that is the fullness and allness of God expressing. And so we just bless our time. We give thanks for this, each person that has spoken up and been vulnerable, knowing that they have given a gift to this community, that we all show up as love, as peace, as joy, as harmony, and just release this prayer to the action of the law, knowing it's complete, knowing it's done, saying, and so it is, and so I let it be. Amen, 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 amen.
Amen. Super good. So just a little tip about Valerie. I always say this, if she cries It's going to happen, and during prayer, that doesn't mean you punch her, though, to get her to cry, or pinch her or something, okay? Amazing. Thank you for that, Valerie. So we're going to talk about compassion. And why are we going to talk about compassion? Well, because it's a practice into joy. But I will say this. We've been talking this last year about waking up and growing up. So what's waking up? Coming to understand something. What's growing up? Practicing something new. We wake up over and over again. But when do we practice something new? Where do we stay often? Right? Something happens over and over and over, and it keeps happening, and I'm wondering, why does this keep happening? I have a pattern in it. So the waking up is understanding, the growing up is, I'm going to try something new because it's not been working. Not really in my best, or maybe I'm just aware that a new practice or something new needs to be substituted for a practice that doesn't work. So this next year, we're going to be doing Growing Up all year. So for those of you that don't want to grow up, I will say this, that grown-ups have a lot more fun. You know what I'm talking about. So for this year, this is going to be what we're going to be doing for this 2025. It's going to be a good year, no matter what happens on November 5th. It's going to be a good year because we're going to make it that way. Doesn't matter what happens in life. It matters what tools we bring to that experience that we're having. So what are we going to talk about today? Compassion defined. There are dual benefits to it. We're going to talk about what it is and what it isn't, which I think is a really important topic. We're going to talk about self-compassion and the everyday practice, and here's what I want you to remember. If I don't mention this, I want you to ask me this question, somebody in the room. Who's Amy? Okay? Got it? Who's Amy? So if I forget, you got to say, Reverend Bobbi, who's Amy? Okay? But if I do it, then I'm off the hook. All right. The last one is compassion in action. And it's really important to talk about compassion both from giving myself compassion and practicing compassion on the outside of myself. Those two things are some of the most powerful spiritual practice we can have, and we're going to talk about why. Let's play a little video, Matt. Would you do that for me? Now, here's what I need you to do. I need you to listen, because the video was made in Finland. How many of you are Finnish and speak the language? Okay, there are subtitles in the video, and there is music in the video, so pay attention because there's something in this for us to explore, okay? So if you need to turn your chair, turn it to face this way, okay?
It's easy to put people in boxes. There's us, and there's them. The high earners, and those just getting by. Those we trust, and those we try to avoid. There's the new Danes, and those who've always been here. The people from the countryside, and those who've never seen a cow. The religious, and the self-confident. There are those we share something with, and those we don't share anything with.
Velkommen. Jeg kommer til at stille jer nogle spørgsmål i dag. Nogle af dem kan godt være lidt personlige, men jeg håber, I vil svare ærligt på dem. Hvem herinde i rummet var klassens klovn? Hvem er bonusforældre?
And then suddenly, there's us. We who believe in life after death. We who've seen UFOs. And all of us who love to dance. We who've been bullied. And we who've bullied others. And then there's us, the lucky ones who've had sex this past week. We who are broken-hearted. We who are madly in love. We who feel lonely. We who are bisexual. And we who acknowledge the courage of others. We who have found the meaning of life. And we who have saved lives. And then there's all of us who just love Denmark. So maybe there's more that brings us together than we think. TV2 Denmark. All that we share.
How'd that feel? Amazing. Pretty amazing, right? That there's things we are all connected by, and we forget that we all share something. That we are, I would say that video is like that demonstration of feeling one with everything. Because what did I experience? I've watched this thing probably 5 times this week, and I felt both compassion and hope. Right? I'm seeing tears. I love that. I cried the first 4 times. I said, I can't do that this time, because I won't get through. So, compassion. Does that set you up for a little bit of compassion today? Yeah. So let's define compassion. So here's what I would like you to do. First of all, as a group, well, let me start with this. I'm going to talk a little bit about what compassion is and give you kind of a little bit of a background. Would you like that? Yes. So first of all, there are 2 words that are not compassion but are directly linked. One of those is sympathy, right? Sympathy is recognizing and acknowledging someone's emotional pain or hardship, but it remains more distant. I don't share the feelings or the experience. The focus is acknowledgement-oriented, expresses concern or sorrow for someone's situation, but it doesn't engage emotionally in the way empathy might. For example, if a friend loses a loved one, sympathy is saying, I'm sorry for your loss, without deeply feeling their grief yourself. The key idea is, I'm sorry you're in pain. That is sympathy. Does that make sense? Okay. Empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and feel what another person is experiencing from their experience, their perspective. Empathy is connection-oriented. It involves putting yourself in someone else's shoes and feeling their emotions as if they were your own, without necessarily taking action. Example, when a colleague shares their frustration, empathy means you deeply feel their frustration with them, understanding what they're going through. Right? The key idea is I feel your pain as if it were my own. These 2 are not compassion. And there's a reason we're talking about compassion today. So compassion it goes beyond feeling another person's emotions. It includes a deep desire to help alleviate their suffering. Compassion is action-oriented. It's a little bit different, isn't it? When we feel compassion, we are moved to do something to ease someone's pain or struggle. It's not about enabling. It's not about fixing. Okay? So just remember that. Example is a friend going through a difficult time. Compassion would not only involve understanding their pain, or I would say attempting to, but also offering support, such as helping them through their challenge. I see your pain and I want to help. That is compassion. And these are the ideas that came out of the book. If you haven't read this particular chapter, this is what this chapter is all about, and that's what we're talking about today. Now, what I would like you to do in your groups is that what I want? I think I jumped up ahead of here. Now, who has an idea of what compassion is, their own idea of compassion? If you're interested, will you come up to one of the mics and help me define compassion in your own words? Come on up. Terry, 2 mics. Come on up and just line up behind someone on a mic.
To me, compassion is being able to listen to what somebody is sharing, to be still in that moment and let them know everything's going to be okay.
Compassion is when I see my daughter struggling with postpartum depression, to go over there and help her with the baby so she can take a shower, so she can rest.
Yeah.
I see compassion as the light and turbulence as the shadow, like the kind of the wobbly part that, and then humanity is the bridge. So being able to connect with our own humanity and the human experience that of turbulence that we go through as humans, and bringing that light of compassion and love to that moment of challenge.
Compassion is loving kindness, understanding, and acceptance.
Loving kindness, understanding, and compassion. Nice. So what is the difference for you, based on what we've seen, the difference between compassion and empathy? Action? Anybody want to come up and speak to that? The difference between compassion and empathy. Yes, Rachel and Ray, come on up. Just come on up to a mic. The invitation is open.
Well, empathy is if I feel someone, let's just put it on a physical level, if someone's in pain and I feel bad that they're in pain, but compassion is doing something to relieve that pain, like putting a hand over them and massaging or just giving them energy.
For me, empathy was my future brother-in-law, who is a struggling alcoholic, sharing with him my understanding as a former addict of what he's going through, but then taking action and taking him to his first 12-step meeting and letting him experience that and see what resonates.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Anyone else? Yes, please, come on up.
I think that the difference for me between empathy and compassion, for me in like a healthcare worker field, empathy is where you feel what the person is struggling with, but it can be difficult because it may stop you from being able to really be helpful if that pain that they're feeling is very immense. Versus compassion, you still have kind of your own health maintained, and you're able to give more effectively and help more effectively, which has been really important for me.
Thank you. Thank you for that. In the Book of Joy, compassion is described as more than just empathy or feeling another person's pain. By the way, if we're in conversation with someone and our pain is triggered, we are not able to give compassion. That's what I'm hearing. We can't. That's not compassion. That is us in a moment of feeling our own pain. So therefore, the only thing we do in that moment is see our own pain. But we're seeing their pain through ours. That is a huge difference, right? And that's really important. So if I can sit with somebody who's in extreme pain and I cannot give compassion, it's important to know that. Because what I'm doing is I'm amplifying their pain through mine. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want you to explore something with me, which is in your groups. First question, second question, and third question. So I'd like you to go to your dyad, so facilitators, if you'll help them. And I'd like you to explore these 3 questions with a person in your group. How can we benefit from the practice of compassion? Think about right now. Think about what's going on right now in the world. How can we benefit from the practice of compassion? What does the practice of compassion look like in everyday life? Give one example. Try not to give the whole list, but give an example. We want you to explore this practice. So these are our first questions to look at that. Can you share an example of how you or someone else has practiced compassion in a tangible way recently? Okay? You've got the definition of compassion, right? Kind of understand a little bit about compassion, talk a little bit about it, answer these questions in a dyad. Okay? And turn your chairs around now if you're talking with someone in front of you. So I have time for a couple of shares. Would somebody be willing to share what came up for them today? What was rising to the top in your dialogue with the dyad? Someone like to share? Maria? Maria, hold on one second. Jesse? Okay, go ahead, Maria.
Okay, just as an everyday compassion, when we're stuck in traffic and it's because of a car accident, versus feeling I'm late, I'm not going to make it to work on time, oh my God, the traffic's so bad. Feel compassion for the people that are in the accident. May they be at peace. May there be healing. May they have joy soon. May those first responders, may Source be with those responders and be the hand of God in this situation, and give that compassion to them as you pass, as you're coming up, and then as you pass, and just as a general practice, because that's going to come up. But similar situations, if you see a situation versus seeing, I'm being inconvenienced by this, may they be at peace, may they be at joy.
Thank you, Mara. Anyone else? Yes, Jesse, do you have a mic back there?
Do not have a mic.
Hold on.
One of the things that Flora shared was that being compassionate, it's beneficial not just for others, but for the self, that there's growth, and there's a sense of growth that happens when we're compassionate with others.
Thank you. Thank you, Florette. It's good to see you. Florette's waving right there, everyone. Yay. Irene.
So we talked about compassion necessitating multiple perspectives and empathy. You first, I think, need to empathize, meet the person where they're at, and then bring in another perspective of other possibilities of an experience that could help pull them out of that suffering state.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So compassion, one of the most important things about compassion is self-compassion, because if I cannot give myself compassion, then I really can't heal. What was the question I said for you to remind me about? Who's Amy? Who's Amy? You want to know who Amy is? Yeah. Okay. Amy is your amygdala.
That sounds interesting.
What was that movie? Not something about Amy. I know it wasn't that. That was Mary, but there was an Amy movie. I can't remember what it was. Chasing Amy. Well, by the way, you're right behind Amy when you can't express or experience self-compassion. The amygdala takes over, and the amygdala is the ego. And when the amygdala is driving the car, it's a mess. It is a mess. So one of the things I've been practicing lately is, oh, Amy. It's okay, Amy. It's okay, Amy. It's going to be okay. What did I just do with Amy? What?
You're soothing Amy.
What else?
Compassion.
Giving compassion to Amy. Who's Amy? I'm Amy. And in that moment, I am my amygdala. So think about when I'm watching the news. My favorite thing is when the polls show up right now, right? And my amygdala fires off like there's no tomorrow. So actually, it hasn't been, because I don't look at the polls anymore. It's just not healthy. News, honestly, isn't that healthy because they have a formula. I'm a journalist by education and trade prior to ministry. And what is happening on news is not news. As much as we want it to be news, it's not. So if you got news playing all day at your house, guess what Amy's doing? Amy's got an AK-47, right? We want gun control, but Amy's going off. You're laughing because it's true, isn't it? So remember when I spoke of the fact of growing up is, I don't want to feel this, but yet I can't turn away. I got to have that news on. Yeah, that's something we have to look at as to what and how we can feel through this. So how many of you are new to this philosophy we call science of mind? How many are new? Like a year. Let's give it a year, right? All right, a year. How many of you have been practicing this for 5 years? 10 years? 20 years, right? So what is the most popular phrase in science of mind for those of you who've been around Terry? Don't make me call on you.
Change your thinking, change your life.
Exactly. Change your thinking, change your life. The deal of it is, I can't change my thinking if I'm watching and absorbing everything that's going on out there as if it's true. Because I'm afraid of one candidate over another because I'm watching and I'm absorbing everything. So the remedy is in there somewhere, right? Amy loves that stuff. Loves the news. Feeds it because Amy was designed to do what? Keep us alive. The tiger at the door. Is the tiger at the door? But what's Amy doing? Thinking the tiger's at the door. And so you cannot give yourself self-compassion if Amy's driving the car. You cannot give others compassion if Amy is in the driver's seat. Would you agree? Yes. Because we will think that we're in danger when we're not. We will. We will also think others are in danger when they're not. We just don't like it. That makes sense? So here's a quote from the book, which is, compassion is something we can practice. Compassion heals not only the receiver, but also the one who gives it. When we offer compassion to others, we feel more connected, less isolated, and experience greater happiness ourselves. So I want you to just replace that, when I give compassion to myself. If I feel anything other than love, which happens a lot, can I pause and give myself compassion? Can I say, it's okay, Bobbi and Amy. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So I want you to just say that with me. It's okay. One more time. It's okay. And one last time. It's okay. Wow, look at you. Is it okay? It's okay. It's okay. All right, we're going to do a little meditation. So I ask you to get comfortable and just take everything out of your hand and either put it next to you or on the floor. So first of all, I want you to inhale and silently say to yourself as you exhale, I am worthy of compassion. You can whisper it if you would like to. Inhale, exhale, I am worthy of compassion. Do it again. One more time. Now, for the rest of the day, I want to, every time you share or every time you say something, it's I. I. No you, no we, I. So I'm going to do a meditation, and this is what you're going to repeat to yourself silently. May I be kind to myself. Say that a few times in your mind, or you can whisper it out loud if you wish. There's power in that. May I be kind to myself. And if it helps, put Amy right in front of you. May I be kind to myself. May I be kind to myself. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. May I accept myself as I am. May I accept myself as I am. Take your time with each phrase, and if your mind goes somewhere, just bring it gently back. May I accept myself as I am. May I accept myself as I am. May I be patient with my struggles. May I be patient with my struggles. May I be patient with my struggles. May I find peace and ease in this moment. May I find peace and ease in this moment. May I find peace and ease with this moment. If you go to judgment, say this: it's okay. I am learning and growing. 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 Let's start again. May I be kind to myself. May I be kind to myself. May I be kind to myself. May I accept myself as I am. May I accept myself as I am. May I accept myself as I am. May I be patient with my struggles. May I be patient with my struggles. May I find peace and ease in this moment. May I find peace and ease in this moment. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Now take a deep breath in and out. And pause and feel the compassion that you've given yourself. The important part of growing up is allowing yourself to feel what you are feeling right now, to feel the compassion you just gave to yourself, and honor the compassion you just gave to yourself. That calms Amy. So slowly come back into the room. Take a breath and allow that transition back into the space. Okay. Would someone be willing to come up and share how that felt to give compassion to yourself?
I felt inside my chest and my abdomen a soothing, calming feeling.
Did anyone come in anxious and feel calmer now? Yeah. Would you be willing to come and say something to that? Don't have to. Hi, Glenn.
I felt giving myself that time to just reflect inward helped soothe my mind and soothe all my anxiety. And I reminded myself that it is going to be okay. No matter what happens in life, no matter what happens with the election, everything's going to be okay. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Glenn. Anyone else? Just because I don't want to miss an opportunity. Go ahead, Rev. Veronica.
For a long time, I would make it not okay to feel anxiety or anger. Like it was not okay to feel that, and so that resistance did not help the situation. And so when I am able to love and accept myself, passion for myself, it neutralizes it, and it's okay to have anger, and I love and accept myself anyways. And so yes. Mm-hmm.
I've given it kind attention. Okay. So we're going to go to some partner sharing. I'd like you to, with your partners, think of a specific situation in your life where compassion could make a difference. Where compassion in your life, self-compassion, where compassion could make a difference. For yourselves first. For yourselves, where compassion can make a difference. And then you don't have to write it down, but you have paper. Write down a compassionate action that you can take in a situation, that particular situation. So share with a partner or work with a partner. You don't have to write it down. If you didn't bring paper, you definitely don't have to write it down. So you're going to have, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes with this one.
5 minutes each.
Easy question. Are you ready? It's probably the easiest question I'll ask today. Do you believe me? No. Yeah, I wouldn't either. But I think it is. Are you ready? 2 fingers up if you can hear me. Awesome. All right, you ready for the easy question? What gets in the way of compassion? And Amy does. Let's be more specific, and if you would, come up and speak. Fear? Hold on a second. Now you guys are making me work. Tori, will you grab that one? I will. All right. Who?
Just fear.
Fear.
Fear
Fear of what? Be specific.
consequences.
Consequences. Yeah, that might do it.
Maybe you can say judgment.
Fear of judgment. Raise your hand so we can bring a mic, okay?
Fear of losing control.
Fear. I'm with you, sister. Right there. Go ahead. What gets in the way of compassion?
I would say fear.
Yeah.
For sure, and I experienced that.
Fear of what right now?
Imperfections and transference over to somebody else.
Okay. Over here and here. Go ahead, Debbie Ann.
Shame.
Shame gets in the way of compassion. What else?
Self-centeredness.
Self-centeredness.
Sorry, honey.
Judgment.
Judgment.
Also ego and stubbornness and wanting to be right.
Wanting to be right. I never do that.
Oh.
Right? Never.
Go ahead, Sue.
My question is...
Anger.
Wait 1 sec, Sue. Hold on. Dueling mics. Go ahead, Janet.
My thing is, how do you have compassion for somebody that you know hates you? How
do you know they hate you?
Because they're pretty clear about it. They don't want you to have any rights. They don't want you to...
Hold on a second. Put it close. Hold on.
People that don't want me to have rights, that don't want me to have a life, or don't want me... there's a whole group of people that...
So I'm going to talk about that before. So hold on to that one. Sue.
Anger.
Anger definitely gets in the way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tori, there's back there.
What came up for me were regrets of the past.
Regrets of the past. Peppermint Patty.
I have a peppermint if anybody wants one too, by the way. Dark chocolate. I brought some, not all.
Does dark chocolate get in the way of compassion?
Never.
Okay.
Unless you're a milk chocolate person. Anyway, fear of non-understanding. Others not understanding me, not accepting me.
I need a mic up here. Where did all my mics go? There we go. Go ahead.
A vicious inner critic left on auto check or on autopilot that's unchecked. And this is where it stems back to the previous question of what are the benefits of practicing self-compassion, is that it allows you to practice the internal reflection skills that I firmly believe are required in order to have compassion for another. Is the ability, our connections with others are only as strong as the connection we have with ourselves. So it allows you to train. It's a skill. Skills can be learned. It's a learning how to get into your body mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, I believe, is what allows one to.
Aren't you doing your PhD in this?
I finished my PhD.
Yay!
Thank you very much.
Right here. Way to go.
Vulnerability and your ability
Gets in the way?
You're not being vulnerable.
There we go.
Not being vulnerable and not holding space for someone to feel safe to be vulnerable with you.
Yeah.
But I think just vulnerability in and of itself is the kind of like gateway for compassion.
It's the gateway drug.
It's the gateway drug for compassion, for receiving compassion and giving it.
Yeah, thank you for that, Lauren. Is there one more in the back? Did I see someone? Did I see someone? Right over here.
I'll get you.
She's gotcha.
I think self-judgment, but not just the self-judgment that we have for ourselves now, but the self-judgment that we can trace back years back, even to childhood. Where
Yeah, it didn't start today, did it?
Yeah, where we didn't understand what compassion was. So, that can also get in the way of the compassion we can give to ourselves and others now.
Thank you. Did you know that compassion actually is something we're born with? It's in our DNA? That when someone is hurting or something's going on, we can automatically go there, and the only thing that gets in the way sometimes is trauma or our own pain. That's it. So what if, think of the election right now. What happens if we're part of a group that seems to be pointed at as we shouldn't have rights, or there's a pointing at a group as if they're to blame, which could be folks of color, women, LGBTQ folks, differently abled, immigrants. Look, when we're pointing, right? When there's a pointing to a blame. So if we're part of one of those groups, how do we practice compassion?
I find it very difficult.
It's very difficult. The 4 agreements. So by the way, if you want to join Rev Veronica the first Wednesday of next Wednesday of November, it's how do you live the 4 agreements, because anybody that has anything against anyone is coming from what? Fear. What? Fear. Sorry, one more time? Fear. Just in case we weren't clear. Fear. Is it about us? No. No. There's the practice. There is a huge group of folks in this country that feel very disenfranchised. And maybe they have been. Think of when you have felt disenfranchised, ignored, invalidated, didn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's true or not. What if that's what's going on? Is the answer to point back? No. Jesse says no. There's our call, right? It's hard. What if someone in our family points at us and blames us for something? Or a friend decides no longer to be friends and we don't understand why? My gosh, has that ever happened? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Someone cuts us off the freeway. I'm sure it was personal. Right? Someone makes a comment about a group of folks. I'm in that group. A friend is in that group. My child is in that group. What can we do? Hey, Amy. I get you, Amy. It's okay, Amy. Right? It's important to know when we don't have compassion. I have triggers that move me away from compassion. And then when I give compassion to what's happening, I can give compassion. But compassion is not saying it's okay. It's not. It doesn't make it okay. But what we have to bring to each and every conversation with compassion, or it's not really compassion, is boundaries as well. When we try to fix, or we think, when we say, it's not saying it's okay, it's saying, I have compassion. I feel you. I feel you. But that doesn't mean we fix, or we ignore, or we say what's okay. Brene Brown says something really, really amazing. She says, kind is clear. Be clear where you're at with compassion. Be clear. The worst thing you can do is to be vague. That is not kind. That is not kind. So then we figure out, well, what does clear mean? And we figure those right words, and if we bring compassion into the experience, doesn't mean someone has to agree with us, doesn't mean that. But if we bring compassion to the experience, our compassion, which is I can help you, I can support you, right? That's what we get to do. And as long as we're divided in this country and we're not bringing compassion to the table, it won't happen. It just won't. It won't. You see world leaders that aren't compassionate, You see it, and what do? They just send another bomb over. Right? That's not compassion. Now, I can't control what that person does, but I can sure change the world by how I am. All right, so let's close this thing up, okay? Now, let me ask you this. So really quick, some final notes is, what did you find today that you're going to take this week in bringing compassion to the world? What's the action you're going to take for yourself or others? Who would like to share? Got to come up here, because we got folks that can't hear you. Turn off the TV, for sure. Tori, Rev Veronica, some folks can't stand up. It's okay. What are you going to do?
If I'm not clear, I'm not going to say it.
Very good. Let me come back later. Give me a moment. It's on.
It's on.
It's on. You got to put it right up. Almost swallow it, but not really.
I'm going to try the Dalai Lama's compassion meditation, where he brings compassion to his not friends.
By the way,
see how it makes me feel in a week's time.
that's your homework for the next month, which you're going to get a card for. Thank you, Janet. Way to intro that.
Anybody?
Who else? What are you going to do this week? What are you going to do for yourself? Come on. Come on. It's okay, Amy. It's okay, Bobby and Amy. It's okay. What are you going to do? Andrea, don't make me call on you.
You can call on me.
You can call on me like 1, 2, 3. Okay, I am going to basically say this is not an emergency. We can handle this.
I like that. Thank you, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know more about that, read her book.
So, true confession.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I discovered something with my dyad partner that I didn't really understand how much of a hold it had on me. I have no compassion for myself in this area. So my work is to discover what I can do to find compassion for myself.
Okay. Thank you, Carol Ann. Anyone else? You don't want to do it. All right. Back in the back. Way back in the back.
I want to share something that Sylvia shared, which as she's going through her own personal challenges, is to give grace to herself in that moment and to be kind to herself through the changes that are going on in her life and the healings that's going on.
Thank you, Jesse. We will hold that. So I'm going to ask our facilitators to hand out some cards real quick. You have a card that you get to take home, put on your mirror, and take home. Did I say take home in your car?
Yes. That's usually how they get
That's
there.
usually how they get there, unless you walked. You can put in your car, you can put on your mirror, you can put somewhere, and this is your practice. And it is a very simple practice. Janet introduced it, and this is what the card looks like, and this is what the practice looks like. Does someone, Tori, can you ask someone in your group to read the front of the card? Maybe Marjorie would like to do that.
Compassion is not just a feeling of pity or empathy, but a commitment to alleviate suffering. It brings together a sense of shared humanity that not only heals others, but also transforms the one offering it.
Okay, so that's right out of the book. The practice that you're going to do, and if you don't have a spiritual practice, this can be your spiritual practice until we meet again. And that spiritual practice is, you're going to say, may I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be safe, may I live with ease. You're going to focus on these phrases, offering kindness and compassion to who? Yourself. And? Others. Thank you. Then, you're going to bring someone you love or feel close to and repeat that phrase. You replace I with you. You offer these same wishes to those you may feel neutral. Pick someone neutral, and then someone you have a conflict with, or it's a challenge to say their name. You know who those people are, right? And then finally, you're going to send out compassion wishes to all and replace with all beings. Can you do that? Thank you very much for doing that. Because that is the only way we can change the world, is if we start with ourselves. So the last thing is I'm going to end with this, and Debbie Ann's we're going to do a little bit of the ushering here. So our ushers, please get ready. Compassion is not just a feeling of pity or empathy, but a commitment to alleviate suffering. There it is. But it's not to alleviate your suffering, because I'm suffering too. So make sure that when you're giving compassion, you're actually present for the other person. And you get to just put your pain or whatever it is right over here. Right over here. That way you can be present in the experience. It brings together a sense of shared humanity that not only heals others, but it transforms the one offering it. If you are struggling with something in the past that hurts, compassion is a way to heal it. But it has to be conscious, which is what compassion is. Make sense? Great. Thank you. You also have evaluations. We would really appreciate if you would fill those out. But before you do, stop. Before you do, we're going to hand out these baskets. And so I'm going to have you repeat something with me, if you would. Look at your card. The baskets are going to come around. Ushers, who are our ushers today? Terry, if you and Janet and Carrie and Karen could walk around with the baskets. This supports what we do here. This allows us to do the things that we do here, to be a healing presence in the world. Remember that. And when we give, we don't give from guilt or shame or, oh, I can't give this. We just give. Just like compassion, we just give. So are you ready to do this prayer with me? Yes. All right. Let's do the first one. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Pick someone in the room and replace I with you. Pick someone in the room. You ready? May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Right? Now, we're going to do all beings because I'm going to let you work on that other difficult stuff at home. So we're going to do may all beings. Ready? May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings live with ease. And so it is. So now if you would just fill out those beautiful little evaluations and tell me where I can do better, I would love it. But tell me what I did well, too. And your facilitators, if you have feedback for them, please give that in that evaluation. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Do we have the slide with the online giving?
No, I don't have it. Oh, I do.